Welcome to The Money Plant, the channel where I share ideas about wealth creation and intentional living in order to help you achieve financial freedom and live your dream life. There are a variety of ways to receive an income. Some are active and require more time, and some are passive and require less time. Today we are looking at the types of income the rich create. The first type of income that comes to mind for most people is earned income. This is active. As to earn this, you trade your time for money. On a fundamental level, everyone in our modern day society understands this concept. A job is usually the starting point for most people. We spend most of our early years in school with this message being pushed at us. If you work hard, get into a good university, and then get a professional job, you'll be successful and earn more money over your lifetime, whilst also working more hours. But this doesn't fundamentally change the problem that you still have to spend 40 plus hours per week for most of your adult life to bring in that salary. The main problem with this approach is that time is a finite resource. It cannot be replaced. Every hour of your time that is traded for money is an hour that you will never be able to reclaim. In life, there is always an opportunity cost for every action. It is also difficult to dial back the time spent in many professional jobs, as the more you progress up the corporate ladder, the more responsibility and pressure you take on. Therefore, work starts to creep into other aspects of your life. For example, checking and responding to emails before you get to leave to work in the morning. Thinking about what you must do the following day in the evening, and even for some people, working weekends, if there is a particularly high workload or deadlines that need meeting, etc. Most people's thoughts about income don't go beyond getting a job, and they accept that working for earned income is simply a fact of life. Maybe if they do well and progress up the ladder, they might be able to hang up their boots in their late 50s and live off income from a pension. These are the lucky ones. Many others will be working well into their mid to late 60s. But that's not the money plant way. If you can create sources of passive income that can replace your salary, then you are free to focus on living your intentional life. So what is passive income? Passive income is one of those phrases that's mentioned a lot. However, the reality is, no income is purely passive. There must be some active involvement at some point in the form of effort or investing capital, or both, to get the ball rolling before the residual income can flow in. Once up and running though, passive income continues to flow regardless of where you are or what you are doing, leaving you to focus on the more important things in life rather than selling your time for money. Sounds good to me. So what types of passive income do the rich use? I've classified the main types on passive income as follows. Number 1, dividend income. The first type of passive income we are going to look at is dividend income. This is typically produced by investing in ownership investments, such as dividend-paying stocks. When an investor purchases a share of a company, they become an owner of a tiny part of that business, and as a result are entitled to a share of company profits. If that company makes a profit and wants to distribute this to its shareholders, they will usually do this in the form of a dividend. Dividend income is a great form of passive income and often will get paid by companies on a quarterly basis. However, this is not certain and companies can cut their dividends if they want. A better way to collect dividends is through investing in an index fund which contains a collection of companies. For example, the FTSE 100 is a collection of the 100 largest companies in the UK, and the last time I checked, this was paying out about 4% per year in dividends. Because it has more companies from a variety of sectors, the overall payout is less affected if one of the companies decides to cut their dividend. Number 2, interest income. The next form of passive income is interest produced by lending investments, such as bonds or cash savings accounts. An investor could lend money to a government or a corporation by buying a bond fund, or to a bank by depositing cash into a high-yield savings account. The sum of money is loaned to the issuer for a fixed period of time with the agreement that they will pay the bondholder or lender back a fixed rate of return, commonly referred to as the coupon. At the end of the time period, the value of the bond is repaid in full. Typically, high-quality fixed interest investments such as UK government bonds are considered at the lower end of the risk spectrum, but this comes with lower expected returns. Both dividend and interest income are classed as portfolio income and is a truly passive income source. However, in order to create this form of income, you initially need to invest capital. Therefore, this can be a slow process and requires another form of income to be saved and invested over a long time frame to build this income stream to a meaningful level. Number 3, rental income. The next type of passive income is rental income from property or real estate investments. This could be from residential buildings such as a house, commercial buildings such as offices, retail such as shopping centres, or industrial warehouses such as factories. Rental income can also be received from land as well. For example, if a person owns land and allows a farmer to work the land for a rental income. Due to the large costs associated with commercial real estate, most people would only invest in this through purchasing shares of a property fund or real estate investment trust, and these operate more like shares as referenced above. I will cover these in a future video. The most common way for someone to receive rental income would probably be through investing in a residential rental property. Most of us are or have been renters at some point in our lives, and we intuitively understand this asset class. The concept is simple. A landlord or property owner provides a place to live to a tenant or company in exchange for money, rent, usually paid on a monthly basis. I class owning a rental property as semi-passive, as there is still an element of work to be done. Firstly, it takes a relatively large amount of capital to purchase a rental property, typically upwards of 25k for a 25% deposit on an entry-level property in the UK, plus stamp duty, broker fees, legal costs and other associated fees. It also requires time and effort to view the properties, negotiate a deal, secure a mortgage, go through the legal process, etc. Even if you have the property managed by a letting agent full-time, there will still be ongoing tasks, like instructing any work to be carried out and keeping the accounting records and submitting self-assessment tax forms, etc. Many of the tasks can be farmed out to property professionals, but beware, if you self-manage and are a hands-on landlord, your property portfolio is effectively just another property job for yourself. And property naturally comes with a hassle factor attached to it, as things can go wrong at any time. You won't get a phone call in the middle of the night from your index fund saying that there is a leak in the roof. Number 4, capital gains. Income can also be realised through capital gains, like when a property or share is sold for a profit. For example, an investor puts 25% down on a 100k rental property, borrows the other 75k on an interest-only mortgage, and rents this out for 10 years. They would naturally receive the rental income as mentioned earlier. In 10 years' time, the property prices have gone up and they sell the property for 200k, leaving them with 125k. The original 25k they put in and the 100k gain after they repaid the mortgage. The stock market is also expected to increase in value over the long term, leading to capital appreciation, and an investor could sell some of those shares to realise some of the gain. Number 5, royalty income. The final source of passive income is known as royalty income. This is the process of creating a product or service that once up and running will continue to bring in income as it is consumed or purchased. Examples of this would be an actor starring in a film, writing a book, releasing a music album, creating and selling a course, starting a YouTube channel or blog, etc. This typically requires a lot of upfront work and the required skills without the security of knowing that it will make money in the future. However, this can be a great source of income and often requires little to no upfront costs, but a large input of time and effort, and has the potential to lead to huge rewards if you hit it big. This income can continue to flow in for generations if people continue to watch or use the products or services. So which one is best? I typically focus on trying to build a variety of incomes from a number of these sources. I currently invest in property and have a stock/bond portfolio, so receive dividends, interest, rental income, and also capital gains due to the price appreciation of stocks and property. I am also focusing on building royalty income by writing a book and creating content through the Money Plant, blog and YouTube channel, which may or may not provide an income source at some point in the future. But this doesn't matter to me because I really enjoy the process of putting content out there for the Money Plant. I'd be really interested to know how many sources of passive income you have, and if there are any that I've missed out in today's video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then please hit subscribe to support the channel and so you don't miss out on any content I've got planned for the future. And remember, spend less time on money and more time on life.